Welcome back to Mock to Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm Mocky, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Y'all been telling me, hey, look at Daniel Jeremiah's. I'm a little late on, sorry, been busy with the Patreon, which you should check out. Got my full big board and positional rankings for the 2022 NFL draft. But we're going to be taking a look at Daniel Jeremiah's. And just to whet your palate, because I have a mock draft coming out later today. So check that out. If you haven't already, it should be out pretty darn soon. But I love looking at other people's perspectives. And Daniel Jeremiah, he has a great football mind. So let's see what he's got. But what's cracking lacking? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Let's get into it. Jacksonville Jaguars. Evan Neal, holy moly. Finally, it's come to fruition. People are putting Evan Neal here at this spot. It makes sense. I know Aiden Hutchinson, odds on favor right now. Then I think it's KT, not too far behind him. Then you have Evan Neal, and then I want to say it's Ikem Ekwonu, because he went way up after that Dane Brugler mock draft. But if you want to protect your investment, then yeah, go ahead. Grab Evan Neal for Trevor Lawrence. He'll come in, be your left tackle because Cam Robinson's not coming back. Or, as a matter of fact, he'll probably be your right tackle, depending on whatever they want to do with Walker Little. Juwan Taylor's still in the mix there. Maybe you kick one of those guys inside to replace AJ Cann, but good pick. I like it. And then we have the Detroit Lions getting the hometown boy in Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, also great locker room personality. Be a good just create this good atmosphere that they're building right now in Detroit. I like it. And just take best player available, honestly, if you're Detroit. Then the Houston Texans, they go Kyle Hamilton. Positional value out the door with this pick, obviously. But I mean, for a lot of people, he's going to be a top 3, top 4, top 5 prospect in this class. It's just he plays safety. How valuable is the safety position over positions like, I don't know, tackle and pass rush, even coverage, corner, wide receiver. Like, how more valuable is it to those positions? But I mean, you can't really argue with Kyle Hamilton being just so darn good. And then apparently Justin Reed on his way out as well, or at least that's what it sounded like. But yeah, Kyle Hamilton, solid. Let's see what we got for the New York Jets. I imagine this is KT. It is KT. I mean, he is, for a lot of people, the second best overall prospect, the first, maybe the third for some people. He's in the top 3 mix. Dude's a fantastic prospect. And, yeah, just getting that pass rush. They get Carl Lawson back. You got, is it Franklin Myers? Oh, man, I always forget how he does his name. Which way is it? Myers? Franklin Myers. But he's pretty solid, but he's a guy, obviously, you can kick to the interior a lot. Big 300-pound hog molly. Go in there with Quentin. Oh, my gosh. Quentin Williams. I wanted to say Jefferson. I don't know why. But, yeah, so it makes sense. If in Jets, you're kind of also in a best player available type of predicament. KT Falsia, that's just great value. Got the New York Giants going. Ikem Ekwonu, the sticky icky, man. Dan Brugler, he threw a curveball for us when he had Icky as his first overall pick. We know the quarterback class is weak, but typically we're only hearing Evan Neal, Aiden Hutchinson, KT. Icky, big change of pace. I like him. He's my number 2 OT. He's a top 10 prospect to me. And you know what? The Giants, their O-line is atrocious. It's terrible. It's god-awful. Carolina Panthers quarterback, or maybe it's Charles Cross. Ahmad Gardner. Whoa. So, first corner off the board. I don't fret too much. I get it. A lot of people are very concerned about potentially the ankle of Derek Stingley. Ahmad Gardner had not allowed a touchdown throughout his whole career. The dude's phenomenal. Pairing him up next to J.C. Horn, I mean, that's That's sex appeal right there. That's just, mwah, you know? But not necessarily a position of need. Because you could argue, well, Charles Cross, I think at least I'll have Charles Cross maybe higher on my board. I'm kind of redoing my big board this week, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have him higher than Ahmad Gardner. It'll be close. Ahmad Gardner is probably going to crack my top 10. Honestly, he is just wonderful. But like maybe Tyler Linderbaum, like the offensive line seems like a much bigger need. You can argue quarterback here, even if the quarterback class isn't ideal, that pick still holds value. And even if you're like the Panthers, you're like, you know what, maybe we'll just address this the following year. We got another year of Sam Darnold anyway, so let's go in there with them. You're still adding more talent to a squad, and you're risking the chance of, okay, now maybe we don't get a top 10 pick. Perhaps now we're not in position to get one of the top quarterbacks in the class next year, so I mean, there's an argument to first build the foundation before you build the house. So before you get your franchise quarterback, build around that quarterback. But also argument could be very well made for, okay, but if you get stuck in this, like where you're a mediocre team, just a quarterback away, but now you're a mediocre team, you're not in a position to take one of the top quarterbacks on the board without trading up and having to give up significant value. So I can see it both ways. Ahmad Gardner, though, is definitely an interesting choice. I'm glad that he's getting some of this top 10 love, though. New York Giants, Devin Lloyd. Listen, Devin Lloyd's awesome. A lot of people look at his build, and they're like, oh man, this cat could be like Micah Parsons. Look at his production, especially as a pass rusher, because he's a guy that's not just a blitzer. Like, there'd be times where he lined up at edge and was just like, all right, I'm going to go out and get it. And he got it. He got it good. But he is, like, Micah Parsons had like an inch and 10 pounds on Devin Lloyd. Micah Parsons was a freak athlete, is a freak athlete. Devin Lloyd, not quite on that level. Not quite on that level. Not even some of the linebackers in this class. Like Nakobe Dean, I think is going to test out much better, but also he's about 6 to 10 pounds smaller. But I mean, you got they basically have Blake Martinez, and that's about it. I know there's some Tay Crowder fans out there. He's fine as a depth piece. That's about it. If he's starting, then there's trouble in paradise, if you consider New York paradise. Oh, yeah. I still like the idea of Karlaftis here. Then Treylon Burks going to the Falcons, dude. Treylon Burks, man. I like this. This makes sense. They talk about Arthur Smith, his connection with A.J. Brown, and Treylon Burks kind of maybe being built in the same mold as an A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown was a bit more put together as a route runner, and that's where you could say Burks is very much like DK Metcalf in that regard, where the routes he can run, terrifying. He's a mismatch nightmare. But it's just a handful of routes. Arkansas wasn't asking him to go out and do a nuance, different things. It was, slant, screen, and go, But I imagine Burks is going to test out like a freak, especially with Ridley probably on the way out. So they need weapons. They have Kyle Pitts, and then what? I know there's some Russell Gage fans out there, but he's an okay slot. That's it. So, yeah. Quarterback, Kenny Pickett right here, going to Denver. I imagine Denver. They're going to be either going quarterback with this pick or trading it for a quarterback with this pick. Both are the correct answer. Kenny Pickett, a lot of people view him as like the safest option in this class. Daniel Jeremiah considering Pickett the best option in this draft class. I think that's very disputable, and I think a lot of y'all would probably agree. But yeah, getting a guy that can maybe start from day one would be very nice. But keep in mind, Kenny Pickett, man, this is a cat that his prior 4 years at Pittsburgh, he was nothing special, nothing to write home about. He was like a fringe day 2 pick at best. At best. And then he comes out, has this breakout year. There are concerns with the hand size, and it's not like he's Joe Burrow with just this laser accuracy, excellent anticipation. He's not that. He doesn't have that. Like, it's good, but he's not of Burrow levels. That's not why we talk about him in the same vein as Burrow. I think because there's also this whole thing where it's like, this is a cat that sometimes he holds on to the ball too long. He doesn't quit on plays. But I think he was second. He was second most in college football in terms of holding on to the football. So that is something. People knocked Justin Fields all last year as, oh, he's indecisive, you know? And I think you could say the same thing about Pickett. I mean, sure, yeah, Pickett's trying to make some plays with his feet. He's trying to extend the play. He's not willing to give up on the play. But then, I mean, if you weren't willing to give Justin Fields, who I would say is a much better talent, the benefit of the doubt, you can't do that to Kenny Pickett either. You don't give him that luxury. I like Kenny Pickett. There's a lot of things to like about him. Like the arm. The arm's good. It's an NFL caliber arm. Again, a guy that can extend plays with his feet. I think the accuracy is solid enough to where he come in and yeah, he could be maybe a top 10, top 12 guy in the NFL. And honestly, the Broncos, if you're the Broncos, that's kind of all you really need. That's an offense primed to take a step up with just solid quarterback play. And then the New York Jets take Trent McDuffie. Holy moly, this one's interesting. I love the fit. Listen, this is like a Robert Saleh fit. I don't know. I really feel like the NFL is going to be low on Trent McDuffie just because he doesn't have the ideal length. There'll be questions about his like long field speed. Like the guy's got great short area quickness. I think they're going to look at him and his size and be like, oh, he's like a box safety slot guy, which that totally is just, that discredits Trent McDuffie. This dude's been a shutdown corner since stepping foot on campus there at Washington. Dude's fantastic. I just don't know if he'll go in the top 10. I don't think that'll happen. Washington football team, we got Matt Corral. Listen, I'm not a big Matt Corral fan. I've been saying this for a while now. I like the dude's competitiveness. I think this guy comes in, he's a competitor. He's a great athlete at the quarterback position. Good escapability, real playmaker, but I do think he's an RPO monster. I do think when he has to go off his first read, he's kind of lost, man. He's just, I mean, we saw that against Alabama, you know? Like, there wasn't really coming off his first read. He was, granted, he had to get the ball away quick because Will Anderson's kind of a monster, but they're just, when he had to come off that first read, then he's holding on to the ball, and he's just a little bit lost, man. I really think he might be just a product of the lane train. Could very well be wrong. Again, this is just my opinion. But Washington, if they are going to make a selection at quarterback, I think it's a guy that, hey, needs to start now. I don't think Ron Rivera, I always bring up Vic Fangio. I don't think Ron Rivera is going to get the... I think it's going to be similar to where Vic Fangio, he was gone in 3 years. What happened? He couldn't find his quarterback. Like, there was no one on the roster that had that, hey, this is a guy we're going to move forward with in the future. Washington's a bit in the same boat. Ron Rivera going into year 3. It's like, if he makes a move at quarter, I think, I've been saying Malik Willis wouldn't be ideal because I really think Ron Rivera doesn't have another season after this year. Like, listen, I get it, you know, it sounds silly. That's just the NFL we live in, dude. Coaches have short leashes, and you could say the same thing about franchise quarterbacks. They have short leashes. If this guy is really, you don't see nothing in 2-3 years, like, you kind of toss him to the side. It's like, all right, we got to start over. But maybe Ron Rivera gets that luxury if he grabs Malik Willis, doesn't start him. Maybe he gets that luxury. Maybe, man. I'm just not sure. Who can predict the mind of Dan Snyder? Minnesota Vikings, they go Derek Stingley. He falls here to 12. Great value. Vikings, you're jumping for joy. You're like, yip, hooray. Our cornerback room, it's hot garbage. They're losing Patrick Peterson. So, yeah, let's do it. Minnesota's a team this offseason I really think might go in fire sale mode. You might see them kind of trade away some of their stars and kind of start a bit of a rebuild. Cleveland Browns go Travon Walker. This one's interesting. Makes sense if Clowney doesn't come back to town. Get a guy that's kind of got the physical tools, to be this dominant monster. I think he may be unpolished, but the upside very intriguing. I thought if you say another year, probably a top 10 guy in the 2023 class. He decided not to. I still think he ends up being a first round guy. I think the NFL is going to love this dude's upside potential. So getting someone across from Myles Garrett makes sense. Baltimore Ravens, Trevor Penning. This is a bit early right now for me when it comes to Trevor Penning, just because Trevor Penning is, I think he's going to blow up the Senior Bowl. I really think it's going to happen, and then he's going to move up my board. It's simply that. It's wait and see. We know the guy's he's got the look. He's a great athlete at that size. The dude is a mammoth, and he's kind of built for this offensive line, this power run scheme. He's built for it. Coming from Northern Iowa, a team that was a very run-heavy team as well. So, yeah, I get the fit. This is definitely a great scheme fit, and he just feels like a Raven. But man, at 14, right now it's rich. Philadelphia Eagles, they have 2 picks. Let's just go over both. George Karlaftis, there he is, man, coming off the board. I really think the dude goes in the top 10, but he feels like an Eagle. This is a good pickup. And then Drake London. I love the idea of Drake London going to Philadelphia. Coming in, being the kind of like the big-bodied receiver that they don't have, a more possession-oriented guy that can create after the catch. I like that. A guy that can win downfield at the jump ball. The dude was 19 and 28 on contested catches last year. So if you think, this is the guy that only affects the short to intermediate parts of the field, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Sorry. Not sorry. But yeah, I like that. George Karlaftis, also great value. Let's see what they get with their 3rd pick. And then the San Diego Superchargers I said San Diego. Los Angeles. Dang it. Bernhard Raimann out of Central Michigan. This is another guy that's in the Trevor Penning boat. I really think he's going to blow up the combine or the Senior Bowl, and he'll get into that day one conversation. So he comes in. I don't know if he'll be really ready to start at right tackle. I'm sure that's the idea, because keep in mind, he's only been playing tackle in general, left tackle, for 2 years. Before that, he was a tight end, but he's a good fit for the scheme, man. The guy's got great movement skills. So, yeah, interesting. I like it. Because, Brian Bulaga can't stay healthy either. And Storm Norton is a disaster. The New Orleans Saints receiver, Garrett Wilson. So, I would think they might go with someone that might be a better field stretcher. But that is something Garrett Wilson can do. He is still my top receiver in this class. The guy's great. Probably one of the best route runners in this class. And the Saints, they need more firepower at receiver. So let's see what this Eagles pick is. Kenyon Green, they go offense with 2 of their first 3 picks. That's wild to me. So, what? So, Jason Kelce, yeah. So then you're... Okay, so in this, he's moving Landon Dickerson to center, which I'm fine with. That's great. To replace Jason Kelce, and then you got Kenyon Green. I really think... I'm gonna be honest, man. Philadelphia Eagles, I know we got guys like Brandon Brooks and Jason Kelce who might be gone in the next couple of years or a year, but I think that their depth is their strength there. They've really built some guys up there, man. Like Jack Driscoll was one of my favorite picks by the Eagles, and he has really developed into a fine guard. I really just don't think offensive line is that big of a need, even if you have 3 first-round picks. That really trying to get have this youth movement on defense should be maybe a priority. But I do love Kenyon Green, man. I really think he deserves a shot at tackle in the NFL. Pittsburgh Steelers, Charles Cross. Forgot you were on the board, homie. Yeah, this is exactly what the Steelers are doing in terms of moving their offensive line to more of an athletic Offensive line, we saw that with Kendrick Green. Getting Cross would be great, man. And then you can move Dan Moore to right tackle, have him have it out with, was it Okorafor? Something like that. So, yeah, have them fight it out for right tackle. Pass protection wasn't great this year. Run blocking wasn't great this year. Addressing the offensive line is kind of huge. I imagine this means they address offensive line, hopefully, in free agency, because Mason Rudolph ain't that guy. Dwayne Haskins ain't that guy. And the New England Patriots, Jordan Davis. Ugh, I don't like this pick. It talks about Vince Wilfork or Wilfork be like pairing Davis up with Christian Barmore. You get a guy like, no, I don't like that. I don't like this pick. I really feel like you got Chris Olave on the board. Like, obviously, there's a noticeable lack of firepower on that offense. And I think Chris Olave would be a good pick here, a guy that could really do it all. Like, we talk about his burners so much that we forget the guy's a really good route runner as well. Grabbing one of the corners, you got Booth, you got Kyrie Elam, who I think they would look at his physical tools, his length and size, and be like, yeah, that's a guy that we could probably add to our locker room, especially if they don't retain J.C. Jackson, which they should. They probably will. It makes no sense to let that cat go. Let him walk. Let's be honest, this pick's they're probably trading back, but I don't really like it. Chris Olave going to the Raiders. So we're probably going to see Jameson Williams fall just because of the ACL, but I think it wouldn't stop me from drafting him top 20, top 15 even. I think that dude's just wonderful. He's just a different type of athlete with his start-stop ability. He's just so shifty. And I mean, we saw that we saw what just a little bit of footwork could do in the AFC Championship game, dude, or the AFC divisional game, Bills and Chiefs. Gabriel Davis, dude. Oh, that final touchdown before it went to OT and they didn't get another chance to win the game. Just that quick little juke to the outside. Williams is a guy that could just mess up all kinds of people. But I do like Chris Olave, so I get the idea of the Raiders going after a burner. So either or. Cardinals? David Ojabo, forgot he was on the board still. Edge, kind of falling in this class. Yeah, okay, Chandler Jones, free agent. I still might go corner, dude. This secondary, still needs more upgrades. Like Marco Wilson, he's fine, but I think he's a better depth piece. We really he looked like, I'm going to be honest, he looked like the same player he was at Florida, where he had some good highs and then just low lows, just super inconsistent. You'd be like, well, he's just a rookie. And it's like, yeah, but that's also he is the same guy we saw from Florida. I'd rather him as a depth piece. He's a fine depth piece, I think. But I think I might go corner here. But David Ojabo's really good value. That'd be hard to pass up. Dallas Cowboys, Nakobe Dean, another cat I forgot was on the board. So getting him in the middle of that defense be scary, having him being able to blitz from the interior, despite his size, 6 foot, 225. He's a guy that really uses, he's got good bursts, like short area quickness, acceleration, whatever you want to call it. Comes downhill very explosively, and he can stack blockers just with momentum alone. So, yeah, no, I mean, Cowboys had honestly one of the worst run defenses in the league. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, so the order's not current because this was before the playoff games this weekend. Cincinnati Bengals, they go Tyler Linderbaum. I really don't believe Tyler Linderbaum falls this far. I get positional value, but man, he's still got a top 10 skill set, dude. This would be great. This would be great for the Bengals if it fell this way. It's really that interior offensive line, just such a letdown. We saw Tennessee just get after Jeffrey Simmons, just like that. It was just poor. Burrow sacked 10 times. Horrible. But yeah, now this would be great if it fell this way for the Bengals. Miami Dolphins. This is the Niners pick, and yeah, we're gonna be picking later. So oh boy. Daniel Falele, what the flip, dude? He's similar to what we have in Robert Hunt, because I mean, I imagine. Well, I guess they put Falele at left tackle, and then move Liam Eichenberg, he's probably a guard in the NFL. It's probably where he should have started. Poor guy, just got wrecked this season. I get the Dolphins addressing the offensive line. Jameson Williams is still on the board. That would be fun. I mean, I'd rather a guy like Drake London or Trayvon Burks. Can't remember his name now. I'd rather a guy with a bit more size. I don't know. I think the Dolphins need to address adding more playmakers around Tua and really use free agency to bring in veteran talent on that offensive line just to kind of creep towards average, so Tua actually has time to throw, that they don't have to be so RPO heavy, so they can get an accurate evaluation of how far Tua has come. Daniel Falele is fine. I mean, I got a day 2 grade on him, but man, that's interesting. Buffalo Bills, Kyler Gordon, get us some love. Yo, straight up, this guy, cat's like, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds, great athlete. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he snuck into the first round. Just how he's built, the ball skills he put on display there at Washington this past season. Like, if he sneaks in the first round, wouldn't surprise me one bit. And he was getting tested there at Washington because they weren't throwing Trent McDuffie's way. So the Bills, yeah, Bills probably should grab more depth at corner. Getting guys better than Levi Wallace and Dane Jackson, I think, would be huge on the outside. So another guy that would be a good fit for McDermott's scheme coming from Washington with a very similar coverage scheme. Tennessee tight ends, Quay Walker. What the flip, dude? I don't even think, like, I have Channing Tindall, the other Georgia linebacker, higher than Walker. I like Walker. I think I got like an early day 3 grade on him, somewhere around there. Like, he's an impressive athlete for being like, he's like 240, but man, I don't know. I mean, I get the Titans going with linebacker because John Brown, Rashaan Evans, they're both free agents. I don't think Zach Cunningham is a long-term answer next to David Long. You have Monty Rice there. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I really like the idea of getting a quarterback that you can maybe build up like a Malik Willis, even Desmond Ridder. I would consider Desmond Ridder at this pick. A guy you can like sit for a year since you have Ryan Tannehill on a beast of a contract, and then start those guys in year 2. Can you imagine guys with like a Ridder or Willis with those type of wheels in this offense? Oh, that's scary. Detroit Lions, they go Malik Willis. He comes off the board here. I'm really becoming more of a fan of the Detroit Lions taking whatever quarterback ends up falling here, because then you get the 5th-year option and your investment's not nearly as high if this was a top 10 pick. Like, a guy you don't have necessarily start early, but you're not necessarily sold on. So maybe like you see enough of them after 1 year and you're like, I think we might just dip into the 2023 quarterback market and then try to move them, because we've seen quarterbacks like their value doesn't depreciate nearly as fast. I mean, the Dolphins traded a 2nd-round pick and a day 3 pick for Josh Rosen, so it doesn't really depreciate that much, and especially if they don't have a terrible year like Rosen did. Even Sam Darnold, after being just a train wreck in New York, looking at what the Panthers gave up for him, like, I'm just saying, you get a year to really look at the guy, get a feel of how you think he's going to develop. And if you don't think he's like, you think maybe you could do better in the 2023 class, then be like, hey, this guy's on the trade market, team will be willing to give up a first round pick for a guy that's essentially untested, and you got a year to look at it, and you're like, So I think it'd be fine. Kansas City, and best case scenario, it works. It works with whoever you get here. I was just talking about the potential negatives. Let's talk about the positives. You get a Pro Bowl quarterback. Kansas City Chiefs, Jameson Williams. So I really like the idea of them going with maybe a guy with more size, but man, it'd be really hard to pass up on him here just because it's tantalizing. This is a very tantalizing pick. I still think they go edge rush because Frank Clark's inconsistent. Melvin Ingram's a free agent, but he's also a veteran player. You don't know when his play might fall off. They should bring him back. Like, the guy's been brilliant this year. But I'd still take another swing at pass rusher. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jahan Dotson. I mean, I feel like this is another one everyone's kind of chalking in just because you do have AB leaving. You have Chris Godwin leaving, potentially. And we saw what happened when Brady kind of lost those two guys. Guys that are great separators, really stretch the field. Like, the offense just wasn't nearly as good, unfortunately. But yeah, no, everyone's chalking this up. I don't blame them. It's kind of it's cool. I like it. Devontae Wyatt. Ooh, going to the Packers, dude. I like this. Devontae Wyatt, man. I love this kid. He might have the most explosiveness on the interior of any of these interior prospects. This cat is good. If you're not new to the channel and you've heard of that one rep where he had against Arkansas where he almost jumped off sides and then didn't even get back into starting position. So he was slow off the blocks and he was still first to the quarterback. Ooh, it was sweet. Took on one guy and then the running back looked at him and said, nah, I ain't going to be about that. And KJ Jefferson took a hit. Oh boy, he took a hit. I like that. I like this. Overall, let's see. Overall, there were guys like Quay Walker kind of shocked me. Daniel Falele. We're like, wow, man, we're not really talking about those cats in the first round. That's interesting. Overall, I mean, there were picks I didn't like. I didn't think it was too outlandish. Like, I think Ma Gardner going to the Carolina Panthers, it's kind of shocking. It's kind of jarring. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, though. But, let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. Check out my mock draft. It's coming out today. Or if you're seeing this a day late, it's already out. So go check that out. We always have fun with that. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.